Later that day, Sherry was pulling her passenger train into Squetham Station. And then the passengers boarded the inbound train and she steamed off in reverse while the cab car led her way. She led backward. I like going backwards, Sherry said. Wendy likes doing this too. And she steamed over the bridge. Then evening fell while the train still carried on. And then the ditch lights blinked and Sherry steamed over the crossing. It's not bad going backwards, she said. I like being bi-directional. And then she steamed into the countryside at night, while her control car led the way. Then the horn sounded in the distance, and then the crossing gates and bells started to ring and come down. Sherry enjoyed giving electric propulsion. And then she arrived at Union Station, where Wendy was waiting. It's nearly Mrs. Director's bedtime, said Wendy. And they steamed off to bed. And that night, while trains were working at night with their sleeper cars, they were being really useful. Then Wendy and Sherry spent the night at Notham's sheds. It's been a busy day, said Sam. No one can smell my breath, loved we. I knew everything about today, said Sasha. Hauling diapers is an important job, said Alexia. People need a lot of diapers, said Katie. It's always important to stay on track, said Sandy. It is, said Shelley. And meanwhile, gnarly Nixie was asleep in the siding, and then Mrs. Director slept in the sheds, and then gnarly Nixie was awoken by a branch snapping, and then she rolled forward in some freight cars. Oh no! She cried. It could have woken up the neighborhood. Then the freight cars started to roll. They clattered down the line at night. And they clattered along. Through stations. And down the line and over bridges. The engines were unaware of the runaway train. I'll go save it, whispered Wendy. And she set off. And the freight cars rolled into the tunnel. At 1 in the morning, and then they rolled through the tunnel at a speed of 18 miles an hour. And then they rolled to a stop. And then they rolled back while Wendy was rolling forward to save them. Then she bumped them. Oh no! And then knocked her brake blocks off completely. And then she started to roll back. Help! Cried Wendy. I can't stop. And just after sunrise, she went backward down the line after the dawn broke. And then she was going backwards. I can't stop this train, she said loudly. Then Cheyenne was in a siding. Cheyenne, help, please! Wendy said. And loudly. Wendy changed tracks. Oh! And then Cheyenne braked so hard and brought the train to a stop. Whew, that was fast, she said. Thank you, Cheyenne, Wendy said, but there's something on the tracks behind us. I don't know what it is, whined Cheyenne. And they backed up to see it. A passenger car was parked on the main line. And then Gordon was approaching. He was pulling the express. Oh no! Cried Gordon. There's a passenger car on the line. He applied his brakes, but it was too late. No one was hurt or worse, but the coach was derailed and Gordon would flipped onto his side. Sorry about that, he said. Then Rebecca came with the passengers' cars. I'll have you passengers delivered in no time, said Rebecca, and she steamed off back to the Sodor.